Recently, it's been on the news there has been a lack of minority coaches in the National Football League participating in upper management. And I want to do my take on this. And the reason why I believe truly that it's a lack of NFL or black coaches there in the upper management position is the fact that maybe they violated the Rooney Rule. I remember the Rooney Rule, they allow at least it led 22 minority black coaches to have upper management positions. But the only downside is fact, of course, the NFL they have a colorblind meritocracy type of organization. So it's like the hiring and firing system that they notice that when white coaches are on teams, they have a more prone to be have a mediocre season, like a team goes below 500 or just slightly above 500 for 6 or 7 years. Now, besides Marvin Lewis, I believe he was one of the longest tenured there and of a losing franchise with the Cincinnati Bengals, almost like a huge decade. Like he was just there, and they gave him some chances. But the only three coaches that we have right now, currently, Anthony Lynn, Mike Tomlin from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Brian Flores for the Miami Dolphins. And for the most part, the only downside fact I say is that black coaches are really getting hired by mediocre teams. So even though they constantly prove themselves, it's still not enough. Now, when Jim Caldwell was the Detroit Lions head coach, yeah, like the first year, I believe they went to the playoffs. In the second year, they was kind of a little iffy. I think they won like 97. In the third year, they went to the playoffs again, went against the Seattle Seahawks, and they didn't have a good run game. But this man, he was a coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, head coach for the Indianapolis Colts, won a Super Bowl with him. He had like success. And the fact he was just a coach for 3 years, you're gonna hire Matt Patricia, who been there for maybe a couple years now, didn't even go to a playoffs at all. Didn't even give him a winning shot. But we look at this now, they hired Joe Judge, a wide receiver coach from the New England Patriots, and that's a little shocking to me. I understand that the Giants, they want to improve, they want someone who came from a franchise that's good, but it's a mediocre wide receiving core. The New England Patriots, it was surprising how they won the Super Bowl last year, but the wide receiving core is not good at all with the New England Patriots. This is why the number one main reason why they lost against the Tennessee Titans. And do you want someone that can kind of motivate the players and cultivate where they need to be? Now, I understand that they are grown individuals. You cannot simply just force them to do certain things like the Antonio Brown situation. It's only so much you can do as a coach. But I just felt like, just him as an individual being in a position to coach the New York Giants, and their New York Giants are steadily developing. It's just like kind of mind-boggling to me. Now, he's not going to be like a Tom Coughlin or anything. Tom Coughlin won like 2 Super Bowls, and they did fire him after, they started doing them down and became very complacent and just pretty much being defeated in the NFC East so many times. But I look at these coaches here, like Anthony Lynn, who went 0-4 in his first year with the Los Angeles Chargers, and he found a way to almost send them to the playoffs, but he still lost. And then next year, the year after that, which was last year, they went to the playoffs against the Baltimore Ravens in the wild card and lost in the divisional round. But he's still our coach, and I'm just saying that they can be offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators, but when it comes to head coaching, it's just a lack of trust within it. 70% of black people are in the NFL, black players. And shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson, he was stating that, if you have a black coach and black players, like 70% of people in the NFL play is black, it's going to be really hard for them to take the man serious. And now we know that the NFL owners are looking at this. Majority of them are white. They saying that, we want to make money. We need franchises. And the best way to generate a lot of revenue is to have a winning season. We need somebody in leadership. Black coaches been saying this. We're doing this for the longest time. Especially when Doug Williams was the first African-American player to win a Super Bowl. I believe it was like a NFL quarterback, Redskins. But my thing is coaches, I don't know if they're being biased or racist until this point, but I do truly believe that, it's just really interesting how, a lot of these NFL coaches are kind of overlooking black coaches. Now, we got to understand, do they have the qualities? Do they have the qualifications? Are they getting enough interviews here? Are they straight from college? We got to think about the NCAA. too. Are there any like good head football coaches in the NCAA? Because they pretty much will discuss are recruiting them from. The NFL commissioner is looking at that as well. So it's all different kind of factors that's into it. I just think it just need to be a balance. If you can have we having like NFL quarterbacks that are black, they're leading the offense, but at the same time when they report to, they at least need someone of color. Or I feel like it just need to be a more of a balance because an African American can coach the Giants. I believe so. It's someone out there that knows the knowledge of the game, understands the players, and get them motivated. Because I feel like if it's 70% of that race, which is have to be minorities, I mean majority of the coaches should at least be black, like 50% of them. Because I feel like they came from similar backgrounds in a way. Most of these NFL players come from single family households. They may need a father figure, especially when they get a little bit older, and implement that on the field to believe to relate to success. And I'm just saying that I believe that more black players may connect with other black people. That's just me personally. Now, it's nothing with white coaches. White coaches, even though they come from a different perspective and maybe background, but it's good to have someone that kind of sort of like resemble the same background as you, as far as like race, and you can have these conversations with them. You can be like just comfortable, and then next you will perform a lot better on the field because you know who you playing for. It's just not just a regular job that you're doing. But at the end of the day, I believe they just need to balance this out. This is my personal opinion, and I still think why NFL, just need just a little bit biased right now as far as like hiring the coaches. Now the Mike McCarthy, I agree with that. Jerry Jones is the owners. They're the ones that's picking these type of coaches, and the general managers is giving the heads up to the owners like, hey, this is what we need. This is the type of person we need to sit up here and lead our team to success. But we gotta think about this too. Even though they become from mediocre teams, like Hugh Jackson came from the Cleveland Browns, it's those teams are very underdeveloped. It's very hard. Even though he's generated more talent, went like 7-9, still got fired. It's like dang man, but a coach with not color just been there for 6 or 7 years. You got Jason Garrett been there for 10 years, been mediocre with the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, compared to if it was a black coach, he would have been gone in like 3 or 4 years. It just amazes me with that. But the prime example was the Jim Caldwell situation because I really felt like, especially Detroit Lions fans out there, that I believe the team was going to the right direction, but it's all for the people who own the Detroit Lions. They made an executive decision to sit up here and say, well, we need to start to another direction. I'm not trusting this individual. I mean, hey, we did lose into the playoffs, but at least he's got you there. With Matt Patricia, how long Matt Patricia's going to be here? Yeah, he could turn it around. Yes, we have white coaches like Doug Peterson, Pete Carroll, people that were very successful. Bruce Arians was turning around the Arizona Cardinals. Yes, I'm not saying white coaches are not capable of just competing and getting people and getting things done. Yes, they have results, Bill Belichick and all those individuals, but at the same time, it just still need to be a balance. And this is why this is a big thing that people are talking about. But this is my thoughts on here. It just need a little mix it up a little bit. For Roger Goodell, I'm pretty sure he having letters of this. I don't know if players feel anything about this, man. I'm not an NFL player, so I do believe it should be a little, a big difference. Like, have Mike Singletary. And don't get me wrong, Mike Singletary was going after Vernon Davis in that particular time when the 49ers was coming up. And it was a new coach, and Harbaugh came in, and Vernon Davis turned the corner. He turned his whole career around, and almost like he was playing like an MVP level. He was in his prime, catching everything, one of the best tight ends in the league. But it is what it is, man. That's all I really have to say right now. What you guys think, man? This is like more of a sensitive topic, but I just want to go out here and just share my thoughts on this, why I think it's a lack of black NFL coaches here. But it's your boy, yunglinkjr. You guys continue to like, comment, subscribe to the channel, man. Appreciate that. Donate to the channel at the Cash App of yunglinkjr. I'm out. You guys take care. Deuces.